Hi, hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Jo. Thank you for joining me today. Today I have a very exciting vlog for you guys. There is a book event and signing going on at the Indigo in my city, which is so exciting. I have been looking forward to this all month. So there is going to be a panel of a couple of authors. Ellie Blake, Laura Cook, MK Lobb, and Kristen Ciccarelli are going to be on this panel. I am so excited to hear from all of these authors. Obviously, specifically Kristen Ciccarelli. I think if you haven't heard of the Crimson Maw / Heartless Hunter and Rebel Witch duology, you have been living under a rock if you love fantasy books. And it is moderated by Nikki Pau-Preto, who is also an author. I have never been to a book event before. I've never been to a book signing or sat in on a panel before. I'm really excited to see what it's going to be like. I am scared of filming in public, so I'm going to try to take as many videos and photos as I can, and I'll insert them after this clip so you guys can see how it went, and then we'll recap after the fact. But I am really looking forward to this event and really looking forward to meeting an author that I absolutely love her books. But I'm on such a huge duology kick right now. Every single duology I've read, I've really enjoyed. Rebel Witch was a 5-star read for me. I rated Heartless Hunter 4.25. There were a couple like quirks in that one that just didn't make it feel quite like a 5-star, but Rebel Witch definitely was a 5-star for me. Everything about this duology I really enjoyed, so I'm really looking forward to hearing from and getting to meet Kristen Ciccarelli. But let's go to the event. I just wanted to give you a quick outfit check. This top is from Aerie, which I have been loving all of my tops that I've been getting from Aerie lately. This is such a fun, cute spring top. It's in this like yellow color. It's got these puffy sleeves, and then these jeans are from Abercrombie & Fitch. And then I of course have my new Bagoo bag, which is a staple. I love the medium crescent bag. I have a couple of these bags and this is just the latest one. So we are all ready to go and head off to our book event. Hello, I am back. I had such a good time. I really enjoyed sitting and listening to the behind the scenes of authors' processes, hearing about the publishing world and how each of them got started on their journeys. I found it really inspiring. I am wanting to perhaps start writing a book this year. Writing is something that I've always been really passionate about, and I've been writing little short stories and starts of books since I was a little kid. I found it really inspirational. My dad's favorite story to tell people is that when I was a young child in either kindergarten or like at the beginning of grade school, a teacher called my parents and wanted to have a meeting with them because they were concerned about me, which my parents were very confused by because I was a very quiet child growing up, and I usually listened to my teacher, and the teacher basically told my parents that I wasn't paying attention in science class and instead was doing other things. And so my parents are like, oh, like what is she doing instead of paying attention in science class? And my teacher's like, oh, she's writing books. And she had shown my parents I had like written and illustrated a book that I had like stapled together, and obviously it was very crude and not super well done, but like the fact that I was doing that at such a young age was so funny, and my parents really just encouraged me to continue pursuing my creativity. I think I'm really gonna get serious about plotting, outlining, and writing a book this year. It's also really cool to hear people talk about their passionate creative projects and to hear sort of backstories about what goes on in the books and little personal ties to the books. I also found it interesting because Kristen Ciccarelli talked about why her books are named two different things in the US and UK versions. And it's called Heartless Hunter in the US and Crimson Moth in the UK. And it's because the original title was Crimson Moth, and the US publisher wanted to change the name of it to Heartless Hunter. They didn't like Crimson Moth, and the UK publisher didn't want to change it to Heartless Hunter. They liked Crimson Moth, so that's the reason there are two different titles for the exact same book, in case anybody else was also wondering why that was the case. I waited to buy a physical copy of Rebel Witch because I knew I was going to this book event and knew that I was going to be picking up a copy of it. This is my copy of Rebel Witch, which was signed by Kristen Ciccarelli. She was so sweet, super nice, really personable. She like asked questions about me, and I let her know that this was one of my favorite duologies, and she wrote for Joe and then signed at the bottom there. And then while listening to the panel, I wasn't sure what other books I maybe wanted to pick up from the authors on this panel. I kind of wanted to see their insight and then talk about them. I would have bought every single book and gotten every book signed by the authors if I had the budget to do so, but because there were 5 authors and 5 books, obviously that just wasn't within my budget to be purchasing that many books all at once. The one other book that I decided to pick up was To Steal from Thieves by M.K. Lobb. I'm really interested in this. The amount of research that she put into this book when she was talking about it really intrigued me. I definitely love a lot of historical things, so I'm really excited. I think what we're gonna do is actually dive into reading this book because I'm a little concerned that this video will be really short if I don't read it, and because I've already read Rebel Witch, I thought it would be fun to dive into this book. This is a YA historical fiction fantasy, and it has a heist in it, which if you know me, you know I loved Six of Crows, and there's a heist in that. Okay, I'm gonna read the description from To Steal from Thieves. The stakes are high, but their desperation is higher. Zaria Mendoza has honed her skills and become a talented alchemologist like her late father, able to create any magically powered weapon her dark market clients ask of her. But the work is piling up, materials aren't cheap, and life in Devil's Acre is becoming more dangerous by the day. Kane Durant's best friend Fletcher is in danger of losing his life, but Kane's going to keep that a secret from him. The kingpin of the dark market has given Kane a task: steal a certain necklace. It doesn't matter that the necklace is part of the great exhibition in London's Crystal Palace, where crowds of people and the Queen will be in attendance. Succeed and Fletcher will be freed from the kingpin's command. Fail and Fletcher will be killed. Zaria's fate becomes linked with Kane's when she agrees to help him with his heist, as long as the extra jewels from the Crystal Palace are part of the deal. This is their only chance out of the hellhole they call home. There are just 2 problems. Zaria needs that necklace as much as Kane does, and Kane has no intention of stealing extra jewels. With the clock ticking and the 2 of them determined to double-cross each other, who will come out on top? The description alone is so intriguing to me, and I'm really excited to dive into reading this. I think I'm going to start this tomorrow, so I will check back in with you guys when we get this started. It is a very rainy and gloomy day today, which is perfect reading weather. I have a couple of hours to get started on To Steal from Thieves by M.K. Lobb. I'm going out for lunch and a bit of shopping with a friend today, and then when I come home, then we can continue reading To Steal from Thieves. This book is about 380 pages, so I'm hoping to make a pretty good dent, if not finish it today. I have some bigger chunks of time to get a bunch of reading done today, so we will see how far I get through this, and I will give you guys updates throughout as I'm reading on my thoughts, and I'm really excited for this one. Dual POV. I am so excited this is dual POV. Having dual POV in fantasy books specifically, especially between the female main character and male main character, I eat that shit up. I love it when authors do this and give insight into both the minds of the main characters in this book, and I'm so excited. I have really high hopes for this. I've only read the first chapter and I already really love the writing style. I love the characters so far. I'm excited because this is a recent release. This just came out last week, but it is part of a duology, so there will be a second book in this, and you guys know how much I freaking love my duologies, so I have a really good feeling about this so far, and I'm excited to keep reading. I also find it really fascinating and love that I heard MK talk about this book prior to going into reading it, because she spoke a lot about the research that she did. This takes place during the Great Exhibition in London and is extremely historically accurate, which I think is so cool. And even down to the locations of places, she looked through blueprints and maps at the time, so all of the locations and descriptions and everything is really accurate. I also really love the magic system so far. The magic system gets introduced right at the beginning of this book, and I'm finding the magic system to be really intriguing and very unique, and you guys know I love unique magic systems. King Shepherd duology is my favorite duology of all time, and that also had a very unique magic system and had very dark gothic vibes, and this definitely also has dark vibes to it. It's really hopeful for this book, and I'm really excited to keep reading. I am about 50% of the way through to Steal from Thieves, so I'm going to give you a bit of an update, and I'm also hoping to finish this today. I am absolutely eating this up. Genuinely, I can already tell it's probably going to be a 5-star read. The fact that this is a duology, so I'm already expecting it to kind of leave on a cliffhanger, and there is a high stakes heist in this, so if you are a fan of Six of Crows, I think you're really going to love this. If you like the enemies to lovers trope, you are going to love this. I love our two main characters, both the female main character and the male main character, I think are so great, and I love their banter. The banter in this is unbelievable. The world building and the telling of the story is just so incredibly well done. I really feel in this time period and in this place, and right there along with the characters. I'm so engaged, and it's been really hard to put this book down. It's very much giving the type of enemies to lovers that is in Heartless Hunter, Crimson Moth, and Rebel Witch. If you loved the dynamic between Rune and Gideon and like how deep they are in as enemies, I think you will really like this one. I can't wait to read more from this author, and I'm so excited to read the second book in this, which I don't think comes out for a little while because this one just came out, which is so sad, but I will very much be looking forward to that. We're on to the epilogue. What an ending. I have no words for how much I enjoyed To Steal from Thieves by MK Love. MK destroyed me with this one. If you love enemies to lovers, slow burn, morally gray characters, and high stakes heists, like the last 100 pages of this book had my heart pounding. This was absolutely 100% a 5-star read for me. I absolutely love this book, and I cannot recommend it enough if you are into all of these things and are interested in checking this out. I also love the historical elements of this book and the time period it was set in. It was so fascinating, and the magic system. I'm really excited for when the next book in this duology comes out, and I'm excited to check out more work by MK Love because this was an absolute banger of a book. I ate this shit up. I read it in literally 2 days. If that doesn't say enough about how much I really enjoyed this one, this is definitely a top tier book for me now. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for joining me. This was such a fun video to film. I really enjoyed going to the book event and meeting some authors, getting some inspiration, and reading this book. I am so excited that this turned out to be a 5-star read and that I loved it as much as I did. It's pretty fun that both books that I got signed, both Rebel Witch and To Steal from Thieves, ended up being 5-star reads for me. So that was pretty exciting, and I will see you guys in the next video.